Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Niger once again, and this is going to be another tier list. We got our first tier list of the new year, for 2024, of course, and we're starting off in a big way because we have with us the Emerald Archer, or the one and only Green Arrow. So we got some attires here for Green Arrow. We got a lot of different looks. Not as many as I thought slash hoped there would be. The thing is a lot of them are derivatives of different gears, which is inherently isn't really a bad thing, but a little too derivative to where it doesn't really transform as much as I would have hoped. But we still got plenty of attires here, and then we have our tiers. In our top tier, we have the Emerald Archer, meaning it's a really good look, really solid costume, really solid tunic, what have you. In A tier, we here it's kind of like not quite top tier, but still really good, really solid, really great gear. On B tier, we have the middle ground, not great, not horrible, but good or okay. And then C tier is our section of very meh or very close to the bottom, one or two things keeping it from the bottom. And then the bottom, you have failed the city. Meaning it's horrible, it's a terrible gear, and it indeed has failed the city. And if you get that reference, well, actually will be brought up later on, but nevertheless. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with his original look. Very much that like Robin Hood esque look for Green Arrow. I feel like oftentimes these early gears are very hit or miss. Is You gotta remember this is a different time. This was way back in the day, the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken, when Green Arrow was introduced. But at 40, or actually I think it might have been the 50s. I forget exactly, but nevertheless, very early Green Arrow look, very much in that like Robin Hood type of gear here. I think still looks okay. He's got like the red gloves, he's got the red boots, he's got the feather. Her clean shaven Green Arrow. Very primal, very much in early attire for Green Arrow. He's got the tunic as well as the pants go with it, but you know what? It doesn't look bad. So I'll at least go B tier with it. Like compared to some of the other or like older looks, it's not terrible. But then next up is the Brave and the Bold. Now, how it says Brave and the Bold here, but this particular image that I use for Green Arrow, because it's pretty much the same attire, is from Hard Traveling Heroes, the team up comic he did with Green Lantern. But otherwise, this is probably the most recognizable Green Arrow gear, and for good reason. And mostly green, employing some darker green and some black throughout. It's got the tunic. As well, how with the pants and the green boots, uh, and then it's got the gloves here, but also, of course, sporting that very iconic Van Dyke beard that Green Arrow is known for, the mustache goatee combo that Green Arrow is perhaps best known for, or is in full effect here. So you know what? Because it's iconic, because it's very good. I think it's solid. So this one is going in A for me. It looks very good, very nice indeed. But then next is the Longbow Hunters version of Green Arrow. Kind of similar to what we've seen, except with the hood this time around and the long sleeves as opposed to the short sleeve. He's for Green Arrow. Going a bit less of like the Robin Hood look as these designs do, and I forgot to mention the green feather there for Brave and the Bold look. But given it hit that more, or I would say he kind of modern, I guess, but also a bit more, or I don't necessarily want to say dark, but like kind of in a way. But I do dig it, the long tunic, as well as pants and boots and stuff. And the brown is back. Me personally, I do think the brown does balance it out a little bit, but the all green isn't bad either for the Green Arrow. But the Longbow Hunter is still a really cool look, and he still, of course, has the Van Dyke beard there, which is nice. So the Longbow Hunters, I think I also really like, so I think I'll give that A as well. Oh, no, still looks really good in my opinion. But then next up is, and of course, keep in mind these are all my opinions, so if you disagree with any of these, that's totally fine. But next up is Brightest Day Green Arrow. So, kind of going in a bit backwards and forwards, like kind of combining some of the aspects of the look we have here for the Longbow Hunters, while also taking it back a little bit to his Brave and the Bold look here. And I think it really he works. Like it's got the glove and the wrist gauntlet there. It's got the tunic, but it's a short sleeve and it's still got the hood. And it's back to the all green, but I think it works here. Another very like iconic Green Arrow look. Honestly, all three of these are in their own way, but this one as well. Oh, and it looks really nice. It's here, so you know what? This one, and is this our first Emerald Archer tier? You know what? Yeah, yeah. You know what? Yeah. I think I'll put this in Emerald Archer tier. Something about it I really dig. It looks really nice. Oh, I didn't want to copy the whole image, just the lettering for it. So we'll try that again. But something about it I do really dig. I don't know, just something about it I think really works and looks really nice. But then next up is, let's see, the new 52. Now, admittedly, I know some people are kind of split when it comes to this look for Green Arrow. Oh, um, no Van Dyke beard, so it already docked some points off for that. But then, giving it a more modern feel. We'll address the elephant in the room. Kind of, its Hawkeye isms are showing a little bit, even though I believe Hawkeye came after Green Arrow. But of course, I believe this was around when the MCU was really taking off, and really taking the world by storm. Is when we got the new 52, if I'm not mistaken, if my timelines of things is correct. So definitely some Hawkeye isms here, you can tell. But I think like the outfit itself, I think looks cool, but no Van Dyke beard, which does suck, and shorter hair, which does suck as well. But otherwise, I don't hate it. So I think I'll probably put this one in. Ugh. I don't know if it deserves C, but I'll at least put it in B, I think. But then next up is, let's see, the arrow symbol version of the new 52. Now, some people do kind of prefer this version, and giving it a bit more of its own identity and bringing back the hood, such as what they did with like Brightest Day and the Longbow Hunters. But otherwise, I think it still does look okay. The arrow symbol is nice, and it gives it a bit more of a distinction, if you will, and it's using Green Arrow's logo. But I think it still looks cool for the most part. So I think this one I'll also put in B, the arrow symbol variant, that is. But then next up is the rebirth version of the Green Arrow suit. So kind of continuing what they did it here. I should say with these two, so kind of a continuation of that at going with the hood and then going with more of the vest look, and of course, what do I see on his face but the return of the Van Dyke beard, which is a nice touch. But otherwise, I think this one does look really cool as well. Not as much of the Hawkeye isms, but but still giving it that modern flavor. But this one I also do really like, and I do like how the brown is incorporated here. Here, it's not overpowering, but it is present. So I think with that one, I think mm, uh, call me crazy. Something about it, I think I might put an A. I think it still looks pretty solid for the most part, and sometimes that's okay. But then next up is the Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths version of Green Arrow. Admittedly, we are kind of going all over the place when it comes to, and I tend to do this quite a bit when it comes to these tire rankings, and I know I probably shouldn't, but I kind of tend to. It's not. Sadly, I don't always do it on purpose, but nevertheless, as for this version of Green Arrow, I think. In terms of costume, I should say, I think it looks okay. You can definitely tell, kind of similar here in veins with this stuff, the green and black. So kind of giving it, so kind of throwing it back a little bit more, or to the Brave and Bold look a little bit. And you can even see like the Robin Hood hat poking underneath the hood, which is kind of pointless because the whole point of the hood is that it's in lieu of the hat. Maybe I'm alone on that, I still think it looks okay. The black is there, but going predominantly with the green, and this particular shade of green, admittedly, isn't always my favorite shade of green, but I think it still looks okay. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, I think. I don't think I quite like it as much as the others, but I don't think I can. I don't think I would put it below. B. So is gonna go and be there. But then next up is the Dark Knight Returns version of Green Arrow. Now, this isn't exactly how it looks in the comics. I believe it's like an alternate art piece just to show off mainly the attire and stuff for the character. But as you know, if you've been watching these tire rankings thus far, from especially when I do the DC ones, with a lot of the characters that and how they appear in the Dark Knight Returns, I'm not really the biggest fan of the art style. That being said, though, I think Green Arrow doesn't look as bad as he could have, and really, I think the Dark Knight Returns his art style. I know some people are kind of split on it. Some people hate it. Some people I really like it. I don't think I'm the biggest fan of it. Something about it, I think it goes, when it comes to its art style, I think it goes a little bit too overboard with looking a bit blocky and gritty. It is supposed to be a much darker comic, but nevertheless, tangent aside, as for how Green Arrow looks, almost a little too plain. He still has the arrow and of course, the bow and arrow. But just a solid gray jumpsuit, and then this hair there. Almost reminds me of Santa Claus a little bit. If Santa Claus was an archer and lost an arm, of course, you can see Green Arrow who lost his arm there. But otherwise, don't quite know if I'm the biggest fan of it. A little too basic, a little too plain for my liking. And you do. The thing is, you do have to take the comic into account as well as the time. Like when the Dark Knight Returns came out, it was kind of like that edgy sort of period for comics. But yeah, otherwise, I think I think I might have to put it in C. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's as bad as in fact, I'll pull up the other art for it so you can see. I don't think it's quite as bad as like the other design, and so you can see how it looks actually in the comics and stuff. And this is like an older look for Green Arrow there. And then you can kind of see Green Arrow in action there. Don't quite know if I dislike it as much as some of the other designs when it comes to. This is a perfect image for it. Yeah, so you can see it there. Don't think it's as bad as other designs in the Dark Knight Returns, but not the biggest fan of it, admittedly. But that's more so just me. But then next up is Streetwalker Green Arrow. So, So I forget the exact origin of this comic, how this came to be, and how this particular version of Green Arrow came to be. But I think it looks okay for the most part. Or it does kind of remind me of the Dark Knight Returns look, but otherwise it is supposed to be very gritty. But it at least does have the green there, if not a bit dulled down. Oh, and he's got the hair and the nice big beard and the hat right there. But otherwise, I think it does look okay. Hey, it doesn't look too weird or too blocky. Like the Dark Knight Returns, um, but compared to the others, don't quite know if I'm the biggest fan of it. So I think this one I'll probably put in B. Yeah, so Streetwalker Green Arrow, I think I'll put in B. But then next up is Green Arrow and Black Canary. So they had a team up comic as well, and so you can kind of see the tunic on here. So this one's straight green, no, with some gold, but this one's more so straight green, no brown or black this time around. Green is taking the center stage, and admittedly, it's a nice shade of green in kind of I don't necessarily want to say forest green, but a bit lighter than that. And unfortunately, not always familiar with all the names of the different shades of green, but I know there are quite a few. But as for this, it looks okay. It still has like the hood and stuff up, and the tunic and stuff like that. But again, don't quite know if I like it as much as the others. But I think I'll at least put it in B. I don't know if I want to put it in the lower ones, but I think it'll at least go in B for me. But then next up is Connor Hawk. So, a couple things to mention. For starters, Connor Hawk is the son of Green Arrow. And so he got his own suit, or did he? Because apparently in my research for these comics, apparently Green Arrow wore this exact tunic that Connor Hawk has. I think in one comic. It was very short lived, but the fact that they repurposed it for Connor Hawk, honestly, it looks much better on Connor here. But yeah, so Connor, the son of Green Arrow, even had his own team up with Kyle Rayner's Green Lantern in Emerald Allies. I actually had that book as a kid, but nevertheless, as looking at the attire here, I think it looks okay. Like definitely a different flavor as opposed to his dad's gear, or much more of the brown, where the brown is very much like a kind of the dominant part of the main chest piece in the tunic. Meanwhile, the rest of the suit is the green, and it's a nice dark green, which is nice, but then has the brown boots as well. Oh, and I think Connor rocks it a lot more than his dad did. So you know what? On that merit, I think at the very least I can put it in B. So O'Connor, not bad suit kid. So it's gonna go in B. And I know Connor has been around for a while, so I shouldn't really be calling him kid. But nevertheless, as next up is Smallville. You forget how many other DC characters appeared on Smallville, but even though I've never seen Smallville, I'll probably go back to watch at some point. But as for Green Arrow's look here, or admittedly, I'm a little bit torn when it comes to it. It on one hand, and it's got some green and black throughout. It's got a few different shades of green. This one's like a lighter green. This one's a bit more like a darker, almost brownish type green. And then of course it's got the black. So a few different colors come into play here, and it does have the sleeveless. The suit here, kind of similar to this look for Green Arrow, or alternatively, maybe this one, but otherwise it does look very indicative of the time. It doesn't look horrible. It just looks kind of a little bit cheesy, but I think it still looks pretty cool. Well, especially for the time. But so for that, I think I will at least put it in B. Yeah, but then next up is Arrow. So a few things worth mentioning. For starters, there's the thing that launched the Arrowverse on the CW, and to an extent, and almost kind of ruined a lot of the other shows because this with the success of Arrow, they tried to make every other show like Arrow, and it didn't always pan out. Sometimes it did, but other times it didn't. The other thing is, I never actually finished Arrow, unfortunately. This is when I was much younger and thus had much less of a good attention span. Nowadays, my attention span is still not the best, but it's a lot better. So maybe I'll go back and watch Arrow. But also the thing that caused a lot of people to fall back in love with Green Arrow. And the other thing is taking a very different, drastic tone when it comes to Green Arrow. Green Arrow less as about the wisecracking and jokes and stuff, and definitely more like a darker version of Green Arrow, kind of similar to the other rich guy going around on punching stuff, that being the Caped Crusader. But as for Arrow's gear here, I think it looks solid for the most part. Right, he's got the long sleeve tuning, he's got the hood. It definitely gives it that gritty feel. And of course, using the bows and arrows, so I think it looks pretty cool for the most part. I'd say, and a cool Arrow. Definitely you can definitely tell some Batman inspiration from there, or when it comes to it. But otherwise, I think this early version of the suit, I forgot the W there, but some early version. But this early version of the Arrow suit, I think I'll give B. But then we get to season 4, there's Arrow, and we see the change up of the suit for here, or we see the suit, the long sleeve, but then we see the mask that was painted on. But then this version of Arrow has a proper mask, at least it looks like, and he's got the short sleeve. He more with like this. And more like short sleeves, I should say, and then with the gauntlets and the subsequent gloves. I think between these two looks, and it's not the last look for the Arrow TV show that we're gonna have, but between these two looks, I think I lean maybe a little bit more towards this one. But otherwise, I think this one I'll still, at the very least, give a B. So this one is going to go in B. And then, lastly, when it comes to Arrow, we have his look in Legends of Tomorrow. He's going back to the long sleeve, but this time he has the full beard. Right, so this version of Arrow was stuck on an island for a while before returning and then becoming the vigilante Green Arrow. But he did have a beard while he was on the island, and then met his, I believe he met Deathstroke, as you can see pictured here, but from the back. I believe he did meet Deathstroke while he was on the island, and then they got to fight. It's been a while, and I didn't watch that far into Arrow, unfortunately. Hey, let me know if you guys want me to go back, and let me know if you guys even want me to review it for the channel. If you guys want to see it, I definitely would be more than happy to. But as for this version of Arrow, well, I haven't watched Legends of Tomorrow. You could tell, perhaps perceived to be a bit older, or at least an alternate version of Ollie here, and I don't think I've referred to him as Ollie or Oliver Queen this whole video, but nevertheless, you know who it is. You know who it is, but nevertheless, it's still a pretty interesting look. He does have the beard. One of the things that did kind of suck is that he didn't quite have the Van Dyke beard in the show, but I think it still worked for the most part. So this one I'll at least put in B. But then next up is his look in the Batman show. Oh yes, he was in the Batman show, the one from 2004, which I hadn't seen that show in years, so I totally forgot he was on the show. But as for his attire here, very similar to his look in The Brave and the Bold, which it definitely was like the iconic look for Green Arrow at the time. But when it comes to how it looks for the artwork for the show, I think it still looks okay. I think it works. So you know what? This one I think I'll put in B. The Batman version of Green Arrow I'll put in B. But then next up is how he looked in the Batman Brave and the Bold TV show. The one on Cartoon Network. So interesting. Get Hamble going more for his original look, and then translating that over, which admittedly he as a kid being used to more like the Van Dyke look for Green Arrow, including on the Justice League show, which I forgot to include, but I think that's mostly because this one pretty much similar or the same to how he looked in the Justice League show. But at first I was a bit put off by it, at least being much younger. Like, hey, where's the beard? Why is he dressed like that? But now that I have gone back and seen his earlier look, it does make a lot more sense going more for the early look. I think it translates pretty well, I think, to the TV show. So I think this one I will put in. Not C, but B. I probably would have preferred the more iconic Green Arrow look, especially because this is the Brave and the Bold, and Green Arrow debuted that look in the Brave and the Bold as we saw earlier. But otherwise, I think it still works for the most part. But then next up is Injustice. So, Green Arrow, his attire does look pretty nice. He's kind of going the route of, say, like this version of Green Arrow, more so with the hood and stuff, and giving it that look that was as consistent with like Injustice, where things were a bit gritty but still in that like fun superhero way. The only thing is the body proportions do look a little bit weird, and granted, that's how I looked for like all the characters in Injustice, because I was at time where the body proportions were kind of all over the place. It's men and women. Women had different problems going on, but yeah. As for this look for Green Arrow, if I can properly center it, that'd be nice. But as for this look, I think it still looks pretty cool for the most part. So I think this one I will put in B. Yeah, so I think this one will go in B as well. And then last but certainly not least is his look in Injustice 2. Injustice 2, and we've looked at Injustice 2 gears before on here when doing the rankings for like the DC heroes and stuff. But the thing is, with Injustice 2, you are able to mix and match different parts and equip different parts that alter the look and can alter it very drastically. So this is just the base model look for Green Arrow. Like, start off, go away, McAfee, go away, go away. Hey, it's not gonna go away. Hey, we're just gonna ignore it. But nevertheless, so this is just the base. Oh, there it goes. This is just the base look for Green Arrow, and I think it looks pretty cool. Especially one of the major improvements is that the body proportions look a lot better when it came to Injustice 2. But it makes sense because we're on better hardware, that being PlayStation 4, Xbox, stuff like that. But looking at Green Arrow here, I do really like the suit. He's got the shoulder pads. He's got the Van Dyke beard, which is nice, and he has it here as well. If you haven't been able to tell, the Van Dyke beard is definitely the way to go when it comes to my Green Arrow looks, but that's just me. The shade of green in a little too dark, but I think it looks better in like actual gameplay and stuff. And Green Arrow, and this has no bearing on the attire itself, but Green Arrow is definitely one of my favorite characters to play as in Injustice, admittedly, but that's more so just personal preference. He does have the gauntlets, which have the gold on them, and then the gloves, which I think look pretty cool. So Injustice 2, and he does have the symbol there, which looks nice. So this one, honestly, I might. You know what? I think I might put this in A. It looks really good. I'm re-looking at it. It looks really good. But nevertheless, I think that is the ranking. So to recap, in Brightest Day we had in Emerald Archer 2 we had the Brightest Day. In A tier we had the Brave and the Bold, the Longbow Hunters, Rebirth, and Injustice 2. In B tier we had the original New 52, the Arrow Symbol version of New 52, Dark Crisis and Infinite Earths, Streetwalker, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Connor Hawk, Smallville, Arrow Season 4, Legends of Tomorrow, The Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and Injustice. And then in C tier we had Dark Knight Returns, and none of them failed this city, so that tier is empty. But nevertheless, as some solid Green Arrow attire. We've seen the good and the bad when it comes to that, but otherwise not bad. Mr. Arrow, Mr. Queen, what have you. Ooh, not bad. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the rankings and what's your favorite and least favorite Green Arrow attires. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.